Okay, so have you ever like overheard a friend's relationship drama
Hmm.
and thought, wow, this is straight out of Shakespeare?
Totally. It's like some things never change.
Bah, yeah.
The same arguments, misunderstandings just keep repeating.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what we're diving into today, this whole idea of like timeless human nature and all that.
Yeah.
You sent over that amazing research on the Much Ado characters.
Oh, yeah.
And it got me thinking like, let's really get to know these characters like inside and out,
Mm,
you know?
I'm with you.
So think of this deep dive as like your crash course on the personalities in Much Ado, about nothing. Whether you're prepping for a class or just curious, it's a way to quickly get up to speed.
Right. Much ado about nothing.
Yeah,
It's become such a classic, and for good reason. It's full of these really interesting characters.
totally. And we're going to unpack what makes them tick, the
Yeah.
relationships, all that good stuff. Explore how Shakespeare makes them so real and relatable, even after all this time.
Yeah, and how they all come together. In Messina, it's this whole world he created.
Exactly. Okay,
Mhm.
so first up, the dynamic duo, Beatrice and Benedick.
Hmm.
They just like jump off the page with all their witty banter.
Right. Oh, absolutely. They're the ones everyone remembers their merry war, as they call it. It's like they're always trying to one-up each other.
So is it all just fun and games, though? Or could there be something more to it? Like maybe they're masking some deeper feelings with all that witty back and forth.
Oh, that's a good point. I mean, it makes you wonder, right? Are they just playing around, or are they testing the waters without being too vulnerable?
Yeah, because Beatrice, Leonato's niece, she's all about her independence. I'd rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me. She's definitely not afraid to speak her mind.
Right. She's sharp, quick-witted, and definitely independent, but the research did mention a possible past with Benedick. Maybe that has something to do with her guard being up all the time.
Hmm, that's interesting. Maybe that's why she's so resistant to love, hurt once and all that. But when she finally admits her feelings, it's powerful.
Mm.
I love you with so much of my heart that none is left to protest.
Wow, that's quite a statement, right? You can feel how much she's had to overcome to get to that point. But she's also fiercely loyal, especially to Hero. Her demand for justice after Hero is accused, that shows how much she cares.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And Benedict, he seems to love their little verbal sparring matches.
Yeah.
He gives as good as he gets. And he's always going on about being a bachelor. When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I should live till I were married. But his friends don't buy it for a second.
Haha, that's so true. It's like they see right through him, and when he's tricked into believing Beatrice is in love with him, he changes his tune pretty quickly.
Like lightning fast.
Hmm.
And it's not just talk. He's willing to duel Claudio to defend Hero's honor.
Yeah.
That says a lot about his character and how he feels about Beatrice.
Absolutely. It shows his integrity and his growing love for her, even if he doesn't fully realize it at first. And then his confession, I do love nothing in the world so well as you, is not that strange. It's like he's surprised by his own feelings.
Yeah, it's so real. Yeah, their relationship isn't all hearts and flowers. They challenge each other. They're equals in wit and intelligence, and that makes their eventual love feel so much more earned and relatable.
I think that's why their dynamic is so enduring, even today. They connect on an intellectual level, they make each other laugh, and they accept each other's flaws. It's a genuine connection.
So now let's shift gears and talk about Hero and Claudio. Their relationship starts out as this picture-perfect romance, love at first sight, all that.
Right, Hero is like the ideal Elizabethan woman, gentle, obedient, focused on pleasing her father and finding a good husband. She doesn't speak as much, which reflects the societal expectations of women back then.
It's true. She embodies that classic image of a proper young lady.
Hmm.
But it's interesting that she's also involved in the scheme to trick Beatrice. It shows she's got a playful side and a good understanding of her cousin.
Right, there's more to her than meets the eye, and when she's accused, she defends herself with such strength. One hero died defiled, but I do live, and surely as I live, I am a maid. It's a powerful declaration.
It is. She shows a lot of courage in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But then her fainting at the wedding, it really highlights the intense shame and humiliation she's facing. It's heartbreaking.
Absolutely. It underscores how vulnerable women were in that society. Their reputation was everything.
Hmm.
And Claudio, well, he's this young, successful soldier, and he's instantly smitten with Hero. But there's something about the way he talks about her. Can the world buy such a jewel? It's almost like he is valuing her more for her beauty and status.
Yeah, it does sound a bit objectifying, doesn't it? Like he's more focused on what she represents than who she is as a person.
Mm.
And he's so easily manipulated by Don John. It's shocking how quickly he turns on Hero based on the flimsiest of evidence.
It reveals a lack of trust and maturity on his part, and his willingness to marry Leonato's niece without even questioning it further emphasizes that. It's like the social standing a marriage provides is more important to him than genuine love.
It's a huge contrast to Beatrice and Benedick's relationship, which feels so much more real and earned. Okay, let's move on to Don Pedro. He's the powerful prince who seems to be meddling in everyone's love life.
Right, he's always trying to set people up, like with Claudio and Hero and even Beatrice and Benedick. He's like the ultimate matchmaker.
But the research hinted at a possible sadness beneath his charming exterior. Like maybe he's trying to create happiness for others that he himself lacks. And his line, "Speak low if you speak love," it takes on a different meaning when you consider the deception involved.
That's a fascinating interpretation. It makes you wonder if he's trying to find fulfillment through his friends' relationships. Maybe he's projecting his own desires onto them.
And then there's John, the villain of the story. He's just pure evil, isn't he?
He's driven by resentment and jealousy. He wants to see everyone around him miserable, especially his brother and Claudio. He even admits it, "I am a plain-dealing villain."
And the research pointed out how his status as an illegitimate child could have fueled his bitterness, being ostracized and looked down upon.
It makes sense. His actions are a way of lashing out at the world that rejected him, and his whole plot to ruin Hero and Claudio, it's just so malicious.
Okay, so now let's talk about Leonardo Hero's father. He starts out as this welcoming host, but when his daughter is accused, his whole world changes.
He's the embodiment of a patriarchal society. His daughter's honor is everything to him. His reaction is so extreme, he goes from celebrating to wishing his daughter dead. It's a stark reminder of how important a woman's reputation was back then.
Yeah, and his willingness to go along with Friar Francis's plan to fake Hero's death, it's a desperate attempt to salvage their family honor.
It shows how much pressure he's under and how deeply ingrained those societal values were. Okay, we can't forget about Dogberry. He's the comedic relief, but he also plays a crucial role.
Oh yeah, he's hilarious with all his malapropisms, like comprehended to auspicious persons. His language is so ridiculously over the top.
But the irony is that despite his incompetence, he and his watchmen stumble upon the truth about Don John's scheme. It's like accidental justice.
Right. Shakespeare uses him to show that even the most foolish can sometimes uncover the truth. So we've got all these amazing characters, each with their own quirks and motivations, and Shakespeare uses so many clever techniques to bring them to life.
Absolutely, like the witty banter between Beatrice and Benedick. It's not just entertaining, it reveals their personalities and their attraction to each other.
And then the soliloquies, those moments when characters speak their thoughts aloud, it gives us a glimpse into their inner world.
Right, we get to hear their doubts, their fears, their hopes. And the dramatic irony is so effective, too. We know things the characters don't, which creates suspense and humor.
Yeah, like we see Don John's plan unfolding, and we're aware of Beatrice and Benedick's feelings long before they admit them to each other.
Shakespeare is a master of using language and structure to tell a story. And of course, we can't forget about the historical context. The Elizabethan era, with its strict social hierarchy, gender roles, and emphasis on honor, it all shapes the characters and their choices.
Yeah, the whole idea of a woman's chastity being so central to her worth. It's a constant theme. And the characters really bring those themes to life. The different kinds of love, the deception, the importance of honor, and the contrast between appearance and reality.
It's all there, and it's still so relevant today. The play makes us think about these themes in our own lives.
So for those listening, some key takeaways: the witty dynamic of Beatrice and Benedick, the idealized but fragile romance of Hero and Claudio Don, John's pure villainy, and Dogberry's accidental heroism.
Right, and by understanding these characters, we get a glimpse into human nature, relationships, societal pressures. It's all connected.
And here's a final thought to ponder, considering all these complex characters and their motivations. What can we learn about ourselves and the masks we wear in our own interactions? Are we always truthful, or do we sometimes deceive, even with good intentions? Which character resonates with you most, and why?
It's a great question that challenges us to look deeper, to see beyond the surface and examine our own behavior and motivations.
Exactly. So this deep dive is really just the beginning. There's so much more to explore in Much Ado About Nothing. Maybe you'll even be inspired to read the play again or check out some more analysis. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Until next time.